Where there should be, hello everybody, this is Gregory with Permanent Weight Loss Made Easy, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about how the body positive movement is funded by Big Food. Now, before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. As many of you guys know, I lost over 100 pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, and that is a feat that is in the minority, and I can help you. Now, I've talked about here in the past in several episodes my disdain for the body positive movement, because I think in the long run it's just doing a grave injustice to people, because it's keeping them and it's corroborating and supporting what they want to hear, that they don't have to work hard to lose the weight. And so what you're doing is you're keeping people in obesity. And what does obesity do? Shorten your life expectancy. So why would we embrace a lifestyle that is shortening someone's life expectancy? I mean, if you apply it to like heroin, like, hey, you're a heroin addict, keep doing it. I think it's great. No, we wouldn't do that because it shortens your life expectancy. So body positivity is doing a great injustice to people. Because back in 1990, if I would have heard it's okay to be fat, it's fine, accept your body for what it is, then I probably would have been less likely not to want to lose it. But even though deep down, I know that what they're telling me is not true. But again, if you're in this mindset, and a lot of people who are morbidly overweight are already in this very, I would suppose, like sensitive world, that you almost want to hear that you don't have to work hard. It's okay to be fat. And I think there's massive cognitive dissonance with anyone who's obese, because you know that you need to lose the weight for the sake of your health. But for lots of people, you love your food, you love the binging more than you love your body. But even if you were to tell them, hey, this shortens your life expectancy, so many of them have so much self-loathing, like I did, that they're not going to really want to hear it. And in many ways, you can tell them, look, okay, fine, you're never going to get married, you're never going to have kids, you're never going to attract anybody. And sometimes that actually changes their behavior more. Either way, are we surprised that Big Food supports body positivity? So if you look at like social influencers, and sadly, like you see that how there's social influencers for anorexia and eating disorders and all these things. There are social influencers, no doubt, for body positivity. And we talked about not that long ago about the woman that was on the Extreme Weight Loss show, how she ended up dying from obesity at age 40. These people in themselves, or anyone that's related to body positivity, are not helping the situation by telling people to stay fat. If you do the paper trail, you're going to see that a lot of the body positive influencers, or the campaigns that are out there, are funded by shell groups, shadow groups that are ultimately funded by venture capitalists who own a lot of stake in Nestle, who own a stake in PepsiCo, and all these things like this. And so why is this surprising? Well, it's not surprising because Big Food wants you to stay fat. Of course they do. Big Food wants all of us to get fat, because it makes them make more money. And ultimately, every company, whether you're a small coffee shop to a humongous global conglomerate, ultimately it's all about making money, because that's how you appease the board, right? You have to keep making money. So if America were to go on this some sort of paleo diet or carnivore diet where we eradicate all the middle aisle grocery store food, all the ultra-processed food, we have that 10-part series here on the different ultra-processed foods you need to eradicate from your diet. Think of all the profit that go away. Well, you're like, okay, that's good, Gregory, but remember, those companies employ people. So in some Pollyanna world, if we were to convince everybody that these foods are horrifically bad for your health, they're high in calorie, low in nutrition, and they're intentionally created to make you addicted to them. And even if people are like, you know what, Greg, I'm going to stop eating, just having disordered relationship with food, I'm going to stop eating it. Even if you were to do that, and we were just to eradicate, if you were to go to the grocery store and all of it's gone, all we have is going to be produce, meat, and let's say dairy, well, that would affect the economy. Jobs would be lost. These companies would have to let go of people. So there's a gigantic economy behind Big Food. And look, I am not some sort of advocate for Big Food. I think these corporations are heinous. I think what they're doing is intentionally duplicitous. I mean, you can even just call advertising food porn, right? We call it food porn. When they show the Pizza Hut pizza with the pizzas dripping and stretching, or the Dairy Queen with the blizzards. It's all to elicit a response. Oh, I am in the mood for that. That bean burrito looks good. I'm going to go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m. All of it's manipulative. We are being constantly manipulated to buy food, to go to restaurants, and so forth. So going back to body positive movement, yes, they want us all to be fat, because if we're fat and we're eating these foods, they have a consumer for life. Why do you think McDonald's, for example, has the Ronald McDonald, all these characters, Happy Meals, and all these things? Notice that they connect food with emotions, Happy Meal, because they want you hooked and be a customer for life. It's the same thing that Toyota does. All these companies do it. So if you were overweight, you're likely overweight because you're eating a lot of these foods, and you'll continue to eat them, and that's what they want. So it's almost like you can't get mad at them. They're nefarious, mustache twirling people at these corporations. Yeah, they are, but understand what is their job. And then you're like, well, Gregory, what about government? What about USDA? Well, the USDA and the FDA are a revolving door. If you look at the executives of both of these watchdog agencies, they're all employed by or former executives from Big Pharma, Big Food, Nabisco, Cargill, name the company. And then they go back after doing their public duty as watchdogs, and they go back to lucrative positions in these former places. It's a revolving door. So who's watching? It's like the roosters watching the wolves watching the hen house. No. So what can we do? Good luck. I mean, it's so funny because we've spent so much, trillions of dollars on American healthcare, and we're the unhealthiest and fattest we've ever been. We've spent the most money on gym membership, but we're the most unhealthy and fattest we've ever been. And I talk about this quite a bit at the series on ultra-processed foods. And if you look at our diet, yes, our diet is a problem, for sure. If you look at the amount of ultra-processed foods that we have today, the sodas, the cereals, all these things. But that's not the main issue. The main issue is we have a disordered relationship with food. You look at a dog, right? A dog will go, oh, hungry, oh, eat kibble, oh, walk away. Overweight people, we don't do that. We can't do that. Why? Because we have a disordered relationship with food. We eat to numb something, to soothe the pain. Where does this come from? As I mentioned in a lot of my episodes, most of it's childhood trauma. Let's be real. Let's really be real. It's trauma. And that's why we have a disordered relationship with food. So no, overweight people aren't overweight people in the large majority of cases because of a glandular problem or a metabolic problem. That's what we have to say, because that's the proper optic. And again, that's the body positive movement infiltrating. What it really is no, we eat too much. We eat too much. We have a disordered relationship with food. Yes, maybe you don't exercise. Yes, maybe you're eating too much cereal and Cheetos. Maybe you're eating junk food. But remember, 100 years ago, 60 years ago, American diet wasn't that great in the 1970s, 1960s. And Lord knows we were eating tons of meat and butter and we weren't getting fat. Shout out to the carnivore diet, even though I don't do the carnivore diet. But look, you can have a bunch of bad food around and not be overweight. It's because we're eating too much food. Yes, the ultra-processed foods have a lot of calories, a lot of hidden calories. Sodas, ketchup, all these things have hidden calories. But if you're eating sensible portions and only eating like a dog or a 3-year-old eats, where I'm hungry, I'm going to eat till I'm no longer hungry, we wouldn't be overweight. But we eat till we're full, super gluttonous. Why are we doing that? The same reason we drink too much. We're trying to numb pain. So yes, body positive movement I think is a great disservice overall to people. Yes, we can blame big food, but ultimately, like a lot of things, and this is the hardest thing for people to hear, the accountability stops with us. We can blame everybody in the world. We have episodes here, don't be a victim, don't have a victim status, because ultimately we have to determine what we put in our mouth. We're the ones that determine whether or not we're going to go work out, and so forth and so forth. So yes, a lot of us were dealt a poor hand of poker early on. We had very bad childhoods, and because of that, we developed a disordered relationship with food and alcohol. But what are we going to do about it? Ultimately, what are we going to do about it? And that's what the ethos of this channel is helping you to unravel your childhood trauma, to get to the root cause, so then you can have long-term weight loss. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.